Hi, this is Nicole Renee from Enlightened Energy. I wanted to give a quick demonstration of the proper prayer hand position. As most of you know, or some of you know that have been searching for the higher knowledge and ancient knowledge to bring back to be able to help this planet vibrationally uplift out of the cesspool of energy that we are in right now. Things have been watered down over time. Certain things have been kept from us because of the knowledge that it holds, only to be able to disempower you. We call this planet the planet of duality. The good, the bad, the positive, the negative, the up, the down, whatever you'd like to call it. You need one to have the other, because if you never had the other, you would never have nothing to look forward to. Or if you got too bored with all the good, you started creating the bad just so you'd have some difference. This is what I've been reading in Dolores Cannon's Convoluted Universe, Book 1. I'm on the chapter on Atlantis right now, and if you don't know who she is, and if you're looking for higher knowledge, I would definitely say you need to read these books. I just finished my book on ancient secret knowledge that she wrote. I did that in a week. I just finished it, and then I just now started Convoluted Universe number 1, and she has 5 books. All of what she talks about is exactly what I have been talking about in all of my videos and transcriptions and everything that I've been doing over the last 3 years. A lot of people ask, how can that be? How can you get that kind of information that she's getting? She was a hypnotist. She passed away a few years ago, but she was a hypnotist that started in the 70s to do PSTD for people that wanted to quit smoking, lose weight, soldiers that had PSTD, to get them out of that mind frame and into that different mind frame. And she accidentally tapped into the higher self, or the unconscious, that was beyond what she had normally done. And she tapped into past lives. And in doing this, she also not only tapped into past lives, she was able to take these people into such a state of just relaxation that was beyond space and time, that she was able to allow other beings, higher beings like ETs, to come through and talk to her through the people that she was hypnotizing. Absolutely amazing. She started in the 70s and nobody really believed her, so she kind of kept a lot of this quiet until about the 90s, and she really started to kind of come out with it because people started waking up, of course. And what I'm finding is just mind-blowing, because some of the stuff that she's talking about in Atlantis, I was writing about with Atlantis. It's just absolutely mind-blowing. So it makes me more confident that I know what I'm talking about, because the people that she's putting, she didn't just write a book. What she did is she tape recorded everybody's sessions that she did through hypnosis. And then she used specific ones and then just dictated them word for word. She has her name and then the person that she's doing's name, so you know the conversation. And these people were hypnotized from all over the world for over 40 years, never knew each other, never had any way of knowing this information, and they were all telling her the same thing. You cannot, absolutely cannot shun that away. To me, that is like, whew. God's honest truth, because it is. It's coming straight from source. So what she's doing is she's tapping into past lives that have lived here so many times you can't even imagine. And being able to get specific details that are just, reading on Atlantis, I'm pretty evolved and I can understand a lot of things, but I'm just like, whew, I had a headache this morning, like, wow. I've been reading for a few days and my mind's like, ugh. It's just now feeling better. Trying to take all that in. And the cool thing about my gift and one of my abilities And everybody has this ability. It's just if you are open-minded enough to allow it to take place. Is I have the ability, I'm a feeler. And so what I do with my animal communications is I think about, I look at the picture of the animal and the person's name, and I think about that animal, and they come in just like that. And they're giving me specific details. Like the one I just did yesterday, it blew the gal's mind. Because the first thing the horse wanted to tell me is like, I don't like my name. I want my name changed to this. And I'm like, okay. And it's such an odd name. Like, what? Like Frankie. That's a horse's name, Frankie? But he had had a past life as Frankie, and he had such a wonderful life as being named Frankie that he wanted to hang on to that energy of being Frankie. And so I was given specific details that nobody else could tell her about this horse. And I know nothing about this horse. I just tapped into the energy. I'm a feeler. And so as I'm reading this ancient secret knowledge, I'm like, holy cow. So not only am I seeing the information that I've been giving everybody for the last 3 years right in front of me, not only that, the information that I haven't got yet, I'm tapping into it. So as soon as I read it, I'm tapped into it, and it's downloaded into me, the information. So it's just like, whoa, almost like information overload. Like literally, the secret knowledge book was like over 300 pages, and I read it in like 3 or 4 days. It was just like, I just sat out here in the sun and just read all day. So the cool thing about this is I'm just now starting to read her. I've not liked to read. I mean, I read, but it's just like, I would rather watch a video or, take it in that way instead of just sit and try to quiet my mind. Because I've always been a little like squirrel, ADD, like blah. And so as soon as I try to read, my mind's like boink, boink, boink. And I'm like, get here. I had a hard time in school because I couldn't focus. I'd be like, horses, horses, focus, horses. That's all I could think about was horses, right? When I was young. So I've not really enjoyed reading because I never could really get anything out of it. And I go about 2 or 3 sentences, my mind's somewhere else. So this really drew me in because it was like she's talking, and these people that are hypnotized, the transcriptions are talking about the same thing I'm talking about. Even Atlantis, not as detailed, of course, but some of the stuff on why we don't eat pigs now. Because they're formed from Atlantis. They were a genetic modification. And you don't eat anything that's genetically modified, otherwise it deteriorates your body. I've been saying that. I've been calling it an abomination to God because I'm a spiritual stigmatic. That makes me a true, like, serious feeler. Like, I'm a feeler. I can think about it, and therefore I am it. I just have to get all the other garbage out of my brain, and so I can start doing the stuff that they're talking about, because the fall of Atlantis and some of the stuff that they were doing as Atlanteans, because they got bored. They had everything they wanted. They were able to make anything they wanted with their mind and the crystals. So they had not like a crystal, hard crystal, but they powdered like a powder form crystal. And they were able to make all these technologies through crystal power in the sun and the moon and the stars and aligning and everything. But they'd harness the power of sun, almost like a solar power would be for us, but smaller and just way more potent. They had this paint that they would make that was crystal, powdered crystal form, and they would paint, and then they could use their mind to dim up or dim down the lights in the whole place without having electricity, all with their mind. It's so amazing. But everything was just given to them because they just, they was talking about this one guy, because they asked how they would transport. Well, they all levitated and they just, and they talked telepathically, so they didn't really use words much, because words would muddle what you were trying to say. So we would just go thought to thought. I would stare at you and I would give you what I was thinking, and that was not muddled with a whole bunch of words. So this one guy, he said it's almost like Aladdin's lamp. He had this, he would levitate and go wherever he wanted, but if he wanted to carry anything, he had this carpet that he would lay out and put all the stuff on it that he wanted to take with him, and then levitate it all and go. I was like, whoa, I wonder if people were having past life experiences and then writing movies and cartoons about it. Kind of makes you wonder, huh? Like the Centaurians and the mermaids and stuff we think is legendary stuff that didn't happen. They were doing cross-genic mutations because they were using their mind. Say they were getting an animal And then they were using their mind to genetically alter the DNA of that animal through their mind, because they could do anything. They said it took 4 of them, 1 woman and 3 men. And they would focus their mind with the crystals, and they could actually genetically put a human head on a goat, and then put little, you know, they would molecularly modify everything through their mind. And so in the process, it was causing a detrimental pain to the animals because they were completely, you know, shaping, and it was just, that's why they had to demise with Atlantis, because what they were doing was just horrific. It was absolutely horrific. So they had to get rid of Atlantis. That was the fall of Atlantis. But some of the stories they were telling, I was like, oh my gosh, that we all can do. And like in the Book of Secret Knowledge, everybody here has had past lives here. That's why we're here, because we're all in this wheel of karma, that we've been on this since the beginning. We can't get out of it. Even Atlantis, the way it was destroyed was so horrific that the people that experienced it experienced like PSTD and multiple lives afterwards. It was so horrific how everything just, you know, they were just in this peaceful, beautiful, glowing golden, everything was great, to like detriment and death, you know, and these people were living for, they could just live forever if they wanted to, because you genetically altered everything in your body. You can genetically talk to your cells and tell your cells how you want them to go. But if your mind's telling, you know, you don't want to be here and this place is horrible and, you know, all these negative things, then your body starts morphing into dying and finding ways to die. So you can genetically, or you can talk to your cells and get them to go down, shut down, or open up or whatever, but you have to believe so. So a lot of the stuff over the last couple years that I've been doing during meditation and whatnot, I've been writing down and doing. It's kind of like my Dao Xing that I do every morning. It's the ancient sun mudras from our ancient times. And what it is it makes you like the pyramid. You're the pyramid. So what you're doing is you are cleansing your temple and sending all of that vibration from source energy down through you, down into the earth. And what you're doing is raising the vibration up of earth, because earth is such a low vibration right now because of all the detriment that it's had done to it. Every time somebody is murdered and there's bloodshed, that blood soaks into the earth, and that earth is tainted right there. So can you imagine how much horrible stuff is on the earth and how tainted it is? I had got done with a house exorcism about 1.5 years ago over in Stephenville. And after I was done, I had my niece drive me. And we were driving down one of the side roads to get to the main road. And we kind of went up and over this thing. And as soon as we did, I just got the shivers and I almost wanted to cry, and I was like shaking. But there had been murders right in that area, probably the Indians, because there's a lot of Indian type massacres down here, like the Kickapoo Fall Indian massacre. It needs to all be blessed. And so I believe that's why I was brought here, because of the ground was so tainted that I was able to purify my form and then send that energy out into the earth and vibrate it out, because this area right here is where I'm at. My house area here is very sacred. And I've been spending the last 3 years pretty much in meditation, cleansing everything that I have, coming back to self and realizing that I had cancer from, yeah, that's what that is cancer. Realizing that is what I had to do. Once I woke up and started realizing that I had a higher purpose, and it was healing myself, because if not, if my temple is dead, I can't go on and do my mission, my work, my whatever you want to call it. And my personal work right now is healing myself. So keeping myself in a nice relaxed form where there's no stress. I don't usually wear a bra because everything cuts my energy, and I try to stay as natural as possible right now. And so what I'm trying to do is bring back the ancient, not just, 20, 30,000 years. We're talking hundreds of thousands of years, if not millions of years. This planet has existed beyond time that you can even imagine. Atlantean time was just a time frame. It wasn't just a place, it was a time frame. And it was thousands, tens of thousands of years was the Atlantean time. And they grew that culture from a not very good, caveman type people, not aborigines, but like natives, into more of a advanced civilization. And that's where Atlantis grew, until it grew so much that they got everything they wanted, and they did everything they wanted. They got bored, so they started tampering with things they shouldn't have been tampering with. And that's why the fall of Atlantis, because they had to get rid of all that. They got rid of all the technologies, everything. So all that was lost. And then for thousands of years after that, all these souls that were in Atlantis had PSTD. So they were carrying on all that karma. And so they lost all of that. And as soon as you have so much trauma to you, it shuts you down energetically. It shuts down your DNA. So instead of having all 24 strands of DNA open, they shut them down to just 12 strands of DNA open, which is what we have now as a society. We have 24 strands, but the scientists don't know why the other 24 strands don't work. They call them dummy DNA because they don't do anything, but they're there. They intertwine. There's 24 strands of DNA, but only 12 are active. Well, the reason they're not active is because of all this shutdown, all this negativity, all the stuff that we do on a daily basis that is hurting our energy. So with the Tao Xing, it's what you would call the ancient Tantric yoga. So it's like yoga, but it's not. You have the body part of it, the physical, and the energy and the mental that you combine for all three. You have to have all three to be able to do this. You have to know what you're doing in your mind and what you're actually pulling in and what you're sending down and how it's working. You have to have the part of your body. You have to know which position to hold because it's a certain mudra. And certain mudras hold energy. And once you lock that mudra into place, you infuse that energy into your auric field. If you don't do it right, you don't infuse that energy. You're just doing movements that are just movements and stretching. So yoga nowadays is just stretching and breathing. That's not true. That's not what it's supposed to be for. And so when you do the proper prayer, you engage the Bindu chakra, which is the 8th chakra, which is right here. They call that the portal of God. So you have your 7th chakra, which is right up here, and your 8th chakra, which is back here. Like where you see the Jews wear the kippas over their heads, right there. That's the portal of God. Be like your soft spot. That area right there is your 8th chakra. So you have to engage your 8th chakra to be able to truly talk to God. You can't just go like this. Okay? This is what we have came down to through watered down versions of prayer. This is what we call duality, or what I call duality, what my ancients call duality, because I work with my ancients every day. This is duality. There is nothing here that is uniformed. There's no unity in that at all. It's like, there's nothing there. What you do is you put your hands together like that, and then you slide it like that. That is the original hand prayer. And you also have your thumbs crossed right here. You have your right thumb here and your left thumb here for purpose. You have your right thumb over the top of your left thumb because your right thumb should be connected to God first. That is your feminine side, because when God creates, God is feminine. When God stimulates, God is masculine. So you need to be able to create everything through your heart and then masculine side to put it to use. So this and this, you can't break that. That is unity right there. You can't break that. There's no duality in that at all. You can pull all you want, but you got it, right? And then these two right here, they go right over your heart chakra. So you have your feminine on your masculine side and your masculine on your feminine side. What you're doing is you're joining the masculine and the feminine through your heart chakra in unity. I hope that makes sense. These are the ancient ways. These aren't the ways that we teach now. These are, and you won't find this on any other video, any other book, any other anything, because this is what I am personally downloading from my past lives. Everybody has this ability, and if people are doing it right now all the time, they're getting information. They're like, how do I get this? How do I know this? Well, you're integrating your past energies, and you also have ETs and whatnot working around you nonstop, giving you information. You think, oh, I just had an epiphany. Sometimes it's just an ET whispering in your ear, not really whispering in your ear, giving you a mental thought, because they use telepathy. They can tune in their vibration in and out depending on what they want. That's why some ships you can see and some ships are invisible, because they can tune that vibration. And it talks about this in all of our books too. And I've been talking about this with ETs for a long time. They're around us all the time, not to harm us. We're like an experiment, but nothing that they're interfering in, because there's a non-interference law with Earth. You cannot interfere in with this to try to manipulate or control. So there's a non-interference law. What they're doing is they're just trying to help you evolve. So the more you get out of fear, which is false evidence of being real, Get out of fear, because that's your ego, and open your mind to that there's so much out there, right? So another thing, when you pray, you have your 7th chakra, 6th chakra, 5th chakra, 4th chakra, 3rd chakra, 2nd. So when you have a full upright spine, you are fully in line, all your chakras. 7th all the way down to your Earth Star chakra, which is always connected to the earth. This is a full flow of energy. Now, to truly talk to God, what you need to do is break that energy and purify it. So what you need to do is tilt your head down. That's why they say to bow your head to pray. And when you do, guess what? Your 8th chakra, which is your portal of God, is connected at that time to God. And what that does is, as you pray and you breathe down through your 8th chakra. But what it does energetically is amazing, because as soon as you do this, it cuts off the energy supply to your whole body at your throat chakra, pretty much. So it's just your head. So your head is getting all of the energy that you're breathing in, and everything that you're speaking, which is your brain, is in your head, correct? So everything that you're speaking and all that energy that you're pulling into your head is going into that prayer. And so when you're done with your prayer, what do? You raise your head. And I have been in stigmatic trance in the beginning. This is like a year or two ago, when I first started getting all these downloads of information. And as soon as I would bow my head and start breathing and doing what my guidance was telling me to do, I could feel the energy in my head get like more and more and more and more and more and more. And then when I released, it was like, pew, like a shot of energy just shot straight up. So that's kind of a form of manifestation, prayer. So when you bow your head, you cut the energy center off. You fill your head with what you want to pray about. And then when you release, the energy goes back up and was released. So that is what prayer is all about, is you're releasing your intentions. So you just got to make sure your intentions are pure. But also be careful too, because when you're bent over a phone all day or bent over a computer, what are you doing? You're cutting off your energy. And then what are you thinking about? Are you irritated of everything that's going on? Are you tired and overworked, or what's going on? So if you're bent over all the time, you're cutting that energy center off. So when you release that energy center and you have nothing but negativity in your head, you're shooting that back up to the universe saying, okay, universe, this is what I want. Universe is like, all right, that's what you want. I'll give it to you. And the universe dishes it out. You think it, you create it. Everything is energy. Your mind is your creator, your heart. You should be doing all of your manifestations in your prayer through your heart. So that means having a pure, open heart of just love. It's hard to do, I know, because there's so many things that mess with our mind. You know, you have phones or emit the energy that they do, which isn't good. You've got your 5Gs, you got your, the chemicals in everything that is just, so it's hard to have that pure mind. So it's really important to do the dowsing. And not only the dowsing is important, which is the ancient Tantric mudra system, but the prep work before you actually do it is very important too. There's a certain way that you do, like, call it the bathroom prayer, and how you blow your nose, how you cough into that, and how you go to the bathroom, all in prayer. And then you're washing your hands, and then bloody and dry, and then bringing your hands like this with a towel, bringing it back to your heart center, and then breathing in all parts of you back feminine, and then breathing all parts back to masculine. And once you're done with that, then you go out. I have a singing bowl full of a certain amount of water that is already energized by the moon that I do the night before. Put it in there, get it all ready, and then I have a set of crystals underneath the singing bowl with the other half of 369 that I invented, all underneath the singing bowl. And so when I ding it, all that energy echoes out, and then I do a full, complete chakra sound bath on my chakras prior to doing my dowsing in the morning. Because I want my vessel as clean as possible before I actually do my dowsing. Because once I do my dowsing, I'm sending that energy from source all the way through me. I have to go through the back of my chakras though. Your back of your chakras, nobody focuses on the back of your chakras, but they're actually the most important part of your body, is the back of your chakras, because that's where your DNA is. That's where everything starts. Everybody focuses here, but nobody focuses on that. So if you have fusions over like your heart chakra, which I did. I've been breaking all those apart. I think I'm fusion free. If you have fusions over your neck, which is your heart, your throat chakra, it's hard to speak your truth. If you have a fusion of your heart chakra right there, it's hard for you to open up and feel love because you have a fusion right there. And same all the way down. If you have a fusion down by your sacral chakra, your sexuality is going to be all screwed up. You know, too much of one thing, you know, just unbalanced. So it's, in this one, I teach to breathe through the back of your chakras, not the front of your chakras, and bring that solar energy, all of that down through the back of your chakras, through your body, down into, I start out with just like just here on this place, and then I think of Texas, and I think of, you know, the whole, then pretty soon when I'm halfway through, I'm vibrating the whole earth, and I can just feel it. And it's so amazing that when you do this, you actually, I feel so much vibration that my whole body vibrates with light. Sorry, it's getting warm out. My whole body vibrates with light. Like literally, even my butt cheeks tingle and vibrate. It's amazing once you know the system how to do it, that how much you can actually do. Anyway, I wanted to give that explanation of how to do the hand and the proper way to actually pray, and some back history there. So if anybody has any questions, feel free to ask. I enjoy doing this video. I hope you did too. If you do, give it a thumbs up and a like and a share, and let me know your feedback. Have a great day. God bless.